This is Hey Joe coming out of the beautiful Philippines. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. How many times have you heard that one? Today is Friday, September 26th. This famous quote, very wise quote, a lot of us from the West especially, well, I shouldn't say especially, but for me, coming from the United States, it's something that I've said dozens and dozens of times over the years. Basically kept me out of a lot of trouble, kept me from being scammed, and saved me quite a bit of money, probably throughout the years in the long run. But today we're talking about Filipino women. Does that famous and very wise quote pertain to them? Does it pertain to the Filipino women when we are thinking about Western men visiting the Philippines in search of something different than what they are used to, and frankly exhausted from in the West when it pertains to Western women, dating Western women, how we're treated when we're dating Western women. I'm 57 years old. I just came back to the Philippines about 3 months ago, and I had made a trip to the United States, and I'll just basically tell you, as far as women being interested in me at 57 years old, walk around, I will tell you right now, I was completely invisible. And I know guys are watching this and saying, wow, and of course they're going through the same thing that I am. Me, I've gone through two divorces. I was married in the United States, I was married in the Philippines. And just on a side note real quick, if you get married in the Philippines and you have guys telling you that you cannot get divorced, as I'll speak for myself as a U.S. citizen, for instance, it's absolutely false. Get you an immigration lawyer and take care of it from there. But let's get back on track here. 57 and completely invisible. I wasn't looking, but at the same time, it's absolutely recognizable, and it's like light and day when you come to the Philippines. You guys are looking on here, whether you're 40, you're 50, you're 60, you're 70, and you're going through the same thing that most Western men go through. It's tough, man. I understand you, I see you, I hear you, but at the same time, you're watching all these videos going, man, that is just too good to be true. In the West, you try to talk to, as a 57-year-old, if you're talking to a 20-year-old, 30-year-old, even 40-year-old woman, they look at you like you're crazy, and they're not interested whatsoever. And but you're like, well, these guys are, on Facebook, online, on YouTube, any of those platforms, and I see these bloggers, they're on there, 70 years old, happily married to a 30-year-old woman, and you keep seeing all this over and over, you keep seeing the stories over and over, but it's ingrained in our mind that if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is, right? That is one hard thing to get out of our mind, but I'm here to give you some really important information that you can carry through while you go through this process of trying to find your happiness, trying to find the person that you want. Whether you're looking for a girlfriend, you're looking for marriage, it doesn't matter. Whether you're looking for young, middle-aged, old, it doesn't matter. Whatever you're looking for is basically here, but you have to be very patient in finding it. You have to know basically how to start. So the first thing I'm going to do on here is give you a blueprint. Okay, so you got your passport sitting there, you got your ticket, you leave in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and you're like, man, where do I start? And let me clarify one thing. When you get off the plane, say we'll use Manila, when you get off the plane, the women are not there lined up waiting for you. So let's go ahead and let's cross that one out from the get-go. And while we're on that subject, if you are one of those guys that are just here to have fun, I mean, there's places for that. There's Angela City. Go have your fun, do your thing. This video is basically and this information is for everybody else that's tired of being alone, don't want to grow old with 2 or 3 dogs, And with the dating scene in the West, that's basically where you're stuck at. So you're watching these videos, you're going, wow, okay, maybe there's something going on over there, but if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So yeah, we're just going to hold off on that, right? So here's your blueprint. And you'll see this information other places, but I'm going to cover a few areas a little more in depth for you to help you out, but I don't want to keep this video running on and on and on and on. So what I did is I was like, okay, if I'm in the West, if I'm in the United States right now, and I'm getting ready, I'm interested to come to the Philippines, and I'm interested, I got my passport, I got my ticket, I've made up my mind, I'm coming, I'm going to put boots on the ground, I'm going to check this out. Well, first of all, you got to realize, you got to understand that the Filipino women are very, I would say, like traditional. And when I'm speaking in generalities. Of course, there's exceptions to every rule, there's exceptions to everything that I'm saying. But the majority of the Filipino women here are very traditional. You know, they're not going to come up to you. It's just not going to happen, you know. So you have to come, you have to make the effort, right? So in order to make that effort, and you know when you get there, the women aren't lined up waiting for you, right? So what do you need? What do you do? Okay, so again, we'll backpedal a little bit. What would I do if I'm in the West, I'm in the United States, and I'm coming here? I have to check this out. I got to see if this is real. It's basically it sounds like it's not real, or maybe they're exaggerating. Maybe it's kind of real and they're exaggerating, you know, to a certain extent. I'm going to check it out myself. Here's the blueprint. I'm going to make it very simple. Get online, and I am not advertising any dating sites or websites, but this is what I would do. And because the next question is, well, what dating sites should I get on? And I don't care if you're 40, 50, 60, I don't care if you're 70, download one of these apps before you, say, fly into Manila. And what you do is, I won't even say the names of any of them, but there's several out there. And they're not like dating apps that are in the West, that are in America, first of all. You have to know that. The ones in the West, and I used one years ago, and I'm sure it hasn't changed, so they're just garbage. And this is a completely different ball game. You're going to be bombarded by messages. Excuse me. But you have to be careful. You got to be very, very careful. There's a lot of red flags to look out for, but there's three main ones that I'll cover on here. And that is, number one, they won't FaceTime you. They won't video call you, whatever platform you want to use, Viber, FaceTime, doesn't matter, whichever one. If they're not doing that or not willing to do that, it's a red flag. It's probably not a real person, or it's probably some guy in some other country just trying to get money from you, which leads to the second one. If these women ask you for money, that's a red flag, okay? Are all of them scams? No, but I would say the majority of them are. I mean, it's a big game that they play over here. Everybody knows it. And third one, you know, first of all, you go through the site and you see all these young, beautiful women, and you're saying hi, or I'm interested, and you go through 20, 30, 40 of them, you know, and you're going to do the process of elimination, and you got 2 weeks before you fly out, and you're doing that. And as you're doing that, the ones that don't give you the time of day are basically the ones that are talking to a lot of different guys. So that's the third red flag. If you're talking to them and they don't respond, you know, in a halfway decent, timely manner, yeah, red flag. So there you go. Red flag, red flag, red flag. Keep doing the process of elimination. Get it down to whatever number you want to get it down to. 3, 2, 1. If you want to get it down to 1, that's fine. And let me back up just a little bit again. If this was me doing this, and I was on there again, and by the way, that's how I met my wife that I was married to here in the Philippines. And I did a process elimination. Everything that I'm telling you right now is exactly something that I've done. Very effective. Keeps you from wasting a lot of time, keeps you away from heartache, and saves you money in the long run. So, okay, so we gone through the 3 red flags. Process of elimination. And also, if it's me, and you can do whatever you want, I would only get a 30-day subscription on there. They have 3 months, they have 6 months, they have a year. First of all, you don't need that much time to do what you need to do to find somebody, and you only have 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, whatever, to go to the Philippines and meet this lady or these ladies. But do whatever you want. You know, if 1 month's good for you, 2 months. I mean, after the 1 month, you can do it again for another month. But I would try it for just the 1 month, and maybe most likely you'll find what you're looking for already before the month's out. Okay. So you did the process of elimination, and you got it down to whatever your desire is, 3, 2, 1. And while you're doing this process of elimination, and I'm sorry I keep going on all these tangents, but this stuff is very, very important. First of all, the culture as far as dating in the Philippines, you have to know, is a complete 180 from the culture and the dating and meeting Western women, where in the West, 99 out of 100 times you're going to get shot down. Well, it's just the opposite in the Philippines, even on these dating sites. You know, 99 out of 100 times you're probably going to be talking to this girl, and they're interested in you. And I know a lot of people hate these terms, but I'm just going to tell it how it is. In the Philippines, as a foreigner, you are the prize, and you need to know that. You are the golden ticket, okay? And don't take that in a negative way, because all women from anywhere in the world, and again, I'm speaking in generality, want to be taken care of, right? They want to be taken care of. The man that runs around that's successful is attractive to them. And that is you when you come to the Philippines, okay? So the whole game is completely changed. So when you're doing the process of elimination, if you're, for instance, 70 years old, 60 years old, your kids are grown, you've gone through 2 divorces, whatever the situation, you need to know what your deal breakers are. I don't want to have no more kids, but you want to date a 25-year-old, and you see on her profile that she don't have kids, and basically you ask her, well, do you want to have kids? She's 25 years old. What, I mean, come on. What do you think the answer is going to be? She's going to want to have kids. So you need to really sit down and plan out what you're looking for that's fair for both of you and what both of you actually want, right? So for instance, and that was my scenario, you know, so I upped the age, and it didn't bother me that my ex-wife had a daughter, right, our daughter, and because I was no longer interested in having kids. So these are all the things that you need to think about. Have your deal breakers ready, but the point I want to really get across to you all is, remember, you have the leverage here, and don't be afraid to ask about the deal breakers. It's not like the women in the West. You finally got that 1 or 2 out of 100. You're like, oh, I don't want to say the wrong thing. If I do that, boy, it's over. You know, no, it's a totally different ball game. Okay, so you got your deal breakers, and you ask her, and it falls through. And maybe you forgot to ask her before you got to Manila in the Philippines or wherever you're headed to, Cebu, and you're like, oh man, and you had narrowed it down to 1, don't worry about it. Enjoy your trip, get back online, and start the process all over again. There's 1,000 other women that will better match you for what you're looking for, what will make you happy at the end. And I mean, point blank, that's it. But I know it's hard. I know it's difficult to put those deal breakers out there, because in our minds, we're like, oh man, this woman's absolutely beautiful. You know, I don't want to let her go. And that is one of the reasons why I'm not with my wife that I married here in the Philippines. I ignored some red flags along the way, and it's my fault. And so don't no matter how beautiful they are, no matter how good they treat you, if there's red flags, be very cautious of it, be aware of it, and don't be afraid to move on. Don't be afraid. Don't make the same mistake I did. But, okay. Now I'm going to give you some great advice when you come here. Filipino women, and this is kind of off track just a little bit, but Filipino women, for those of you that do not know, and remember, in generality, I'm talking generally, do not like facial hair. Shave your face when you come, right? First of all, if you're 50, 60, 70 years old, like me, 57, it might make you look younger. So, hey, you might feel a little better about yourself, have a better time, you know. But, yeah, they don't like facial hair. So you come over here looking like Willie Nelson or ZZ Top, you know, you're shooting yourself in the foot, basically. You really are. I mean, sure, some of them don't have a problem with it, but the majority do not like facial hair. So if you want to give yourself a better chance, shave your face. Come on, guys. The facial hair grows back. As a matter of fact, when and if you find that special someone, she'll even tell you, she goes, go ahead and grow your facial hair back, because she don't want nobody else looking at you anymore anyway. So just a side note there. So, okay, if it sounds too good to be true, then it probably is. Does that apply to Filipino women? I don't think so. Matter of fact, I know it doesn't. I've got boots on the ground over here. Boots on the ground over here, guys. I know it's not. You can find exactly what you're looking for, and I'll explain to you exactly how it works. Men in the United States, we're exhausted with Western women, the dating scene, how we're treated, tired, and we're exhausted. Women in the Philippines, they are tired and they are exhausted. They're trying to find a way out. They've been in abusive relationships. I mean, you name it. You know, we both got all of our lists of why we are tired and exhausted, and we're trying to find a way out. The men for their reasons, the women for their reasons. The men meet the women over here for different reasons. They help each other out. You know, they form that bond, they form the relationship, and from there, it's all up to you what you want to do. But have patience, take your time. You have the blueprint, and enjoy yourself, you know. Mainly, take your time. It's real. It's completely real over here, guys. It's not all, you know, unicorns and rainbows. You know, the Philippines has its ups and it has its downs, just like any other place. But when it comes to the dating side, if you're looking for someone, whether it be a girlfriend all the way up to marriage, and you're interested in younger women, and 60-year-old, 70-year-old women do not attract you in any way, plus with everything else that the Western culture has to offer a man these days, you have a different way, and this is the different way. So I'm going to end it there. The video has gone a lot longer than I wanted it to. I kind of went off on some tangents. I apologize. But if you find any of this information helpful, give me a like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, please feel free to hit me up right here, message me, and I probably have quite a few answers for the questions that you guys have, and can fill in between the dots where I kind of skipped around. But I just want you to know, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Doesn't apply to Filipino women. Hopefully you take the chance, you know, to come over here and enjoy yourself. And that's it for now, you guys. Be respectful to each other, and we'll see you next time.